I remember the moment like it happened yesterday. The ping of a message on my phone as I was adjusting the lights for our little house party. It was supposed to be a celebration, nothing more than a few close friends, laughter, and the smell of roasted chicken drifting from the kitchen. But that one text from an unknown number, "You should see her tonight. She's finally honest," made my stomach drop. I stared at it for a long time, my thumb hovering over the screen, trying to convince myself it was a joke. My wife, Emma, was in the living room laughing at something one of our friends said, completely oblivious to the turmoil building inside me. Over the past month, subtle things had been nagging at me. Missed calls she'd brush off with a busy day, messages she would hurriedly swipe away when I walked by, and that distant look in her eyes that sometimes made me feel invisible, even when she was sitting right next to me. I told myself I was imagining things. Maybe it was my insecurity. Maybe I was reading too much into it. But a small voice in my gut refused to be silenced. As the evening went on, the chatter and music faded into a dull hum in the background of my mind. I noticed how she would lean slightly away when certain friends joked about husband-wife secrets, how she always kept her phone tucked in her pocket, how her laughter sounded a little too forced. I wanted to confront her, but I didn't want to ruin the party, or maybe deep down I was afraid of what I might find. Then it happened. Right in the middle of everyone dancing, someone raised a toast to truths and honesty. Emma, glass in hand, smiled that practiced smile of hers, but it didn't reach her eyes. And then she shouted, loud enough for everyone to freeze mid-cheer. "I can't do this anymore. I've been seeing someone else." Time stopped. The music faltered. Forks clattered against plates. Our friends' faces morphed from confusion to shock. And I felt my heart split into shards I couldn't pick up. I wanted to scream, to run, to grab her and shake her until she explained herself, but instead I felt frozen, my mouth dry, my limbs heavy. The words echoed through the room, bouncing off the walls of the home we'd built together. The betrayal wasn't subtle anymore. It was raw, screaming at me in the open, in front of everyone. She tried to reach for me. "Wasim." I didn't mean. I pulled back, more out of instinct than anger, though anger soon came, sharp and bitter. "Who?" I managed, voice cracking. My mind raced. Months of little things made sense all at once. The late nights at work, the quiet, protective phone habits, the small irritation she'd suddenly have with me for no reason. It's Mark," she whispered, tears now streaking her face. "I never planned for it to happen." I tried to stop, but I love him. I remember stepping outside for air, the cold night slapping my face, trying to catch my breath. The sounds of the party, our friends, her crying, it all became muffled. I felt like I was outside my own life, watching someone else live it. Memories I had cherished, our first date, the way she laughed when I was clumsy, the mornings we spent making coffee together, now stung. Every touch, every word, every "I love you" felt like a lie stitched into my heart. I wanted revenge, confrontation, answers, but what I really craved beneath the searing pain was understanding. I stayed outside longer than I intended, replaying every small sign I had ignored, every intuition I had dismissed. And in that painful reflection I realized something. I didn't deserve to be shattered silently anymore. When I finally returned, the room was silent, everyone awkwardly sipping their drinks, eyes darting between us. I looked at her, not with the desire to yell, but with the clarity that comes after raw heartbreak. "Emma," I said softly, "I loved you with everything I had, but I can't stay in a life where I'm not enough." She tried to reach for me again, but I turned away. My voice was steady now, though my heart ached like never before. "You need to figure out what you want, and I need to figure out how to live without this, without you." The emotional fallout was brutal. The nights alone felt endless. Every corner of our house whispered memories that now cut like knives. Friends avoided bringing up the party, afraid of reopening the wound. And yet, as days passed, I noticed something strange, a quiet strength growing inside me. Betrayal had stripped me bare, but it had also reminded me of my worth, of my right to dignity and honesty. Weeks later I moved out, leaving behind the life we had built, the rooms we had filled with laughter and love. Emma stayed behind with her choices, the echoes of that confession lingering in the walls. I didn't know if she truly regretted it, or if she had already moved on emotionally. I didn't need to. What I needed was to reclaim myself, my peace, my ability to trust myself again. I learned that betrayal doesn't just break you. It teaches you who you really are, who you are willing to be, and who you refuse to become. The heartbreak will fade, but the lessons remain, etched into your soul. That night at our own house, Emma's confession silenced everyone, but in its echo I found my voice quiet and unwavering, telling me that life goes on and so must I.